September 9th, 1999. One of the most talked about days in video game history. No, not the day Final Fantasy VIII came out. It was the day that Sega would launch a console that was twice as system graphically as the N64 and PlayStation, busted out 60 frames per second, and gave you the ability to play in this crazy internet thing against people you've never met at blistering 56K speed. Yeah. Sega! 9/9/99 was the day Sega brought us the Dreamcast. It was a gift from the gods, and 10 years later, it's time to count down the best of the nearly 700 games made for the console. And unfortunately, some really awesome games had to be cut. Hey, I'm Stuttering Craig for Screwattack's Top 10 Dreamcast Games.
Number 10.
Hey, come on over, have some fun with Crazy Taxi.
We've said this a million times. Games are not about music and graphics. They're about gameplay and fun. I mean, if they were about sound, Crazy Taxi would have been nowhere near the top of this list. One of the most addictive games on the Dreamcast. It's absolutely ridiculous the things you can do in your taxi and still manage to get complimented on.
That was serious speed!
Just doing my job.
While one of the Dreamcast's revolutionary features, online gaming, was not used in Crazy Taxi, Sega utilized something else that's also become an industry staple. Unfortunately. In-game advertising. Because of Crazy Taxi, there was a point in my life where I was addicted to Pizza Hut and wore nothing but Fila.
Number 9.
While House of the Dead didn't exactly bring zombies to gaming, it was one of the best rail shooters of all time. So, how do you make a series even better? Add a freaking keyboard! Typing in the Dead is so cool. No other game lets you kill zombies while improving your typing speed. Then you throw in the absolute ridiculousness of the actual game, and you've got one of the most incredible, weirdest games ever. So great. So we got some great games today, like the awesome Nazi zombies. So I gotta beg the question to its developer, Treyarch. Hey, how about a little DLC? Can you say texting of the dead?
Number 8.
2 words. Sky Pirates. If you're a fan of RPGs and haven't played Skies of Arcadia's, you are missing out. You get 80 freaking hours of intricate stories, characters, and worlds, and you can build your own pirate army, ship, and base. Oh, and did we mention your pirates of the sky? Oh, but what about ninjas, you say? Oh, well, we've never heard of a sky ninja. Point, pirate, and the battle rages on.
Number 7.
As we talked about, games are about fun, right? I mean, yeah, of course. Well, what's more fun than being a rebellious asshat going around Tokyo, tagging it up and being chased by cops? Well, that's Jet Grind Radio in a nutshell. One thing I did want to point out, take a look at this gameplay. Do you notice anything in this game that's not in games of today? What is it? Oh, that's right, color! If only games of today had this much color, it'd be great. I mean, can you imagine Gears of War with this much color? Well, no, neither could I. This is almost like an alternative universe that portrays what the world would be like if Japan had won World War II.
Number 6.
This game, it blew the pants off everybody when it came out. It was not often when you saw a home console version of the game actually look better than the arcade, but when Soul Calibur was ported to the Dreamcast, the graphics were actually improved and had new features added. Hell, the arcade version of Soul Calibur wasn't even that popular. Only after it made a jump to the Dreamcast did the series take off, so you can actually thank this beast for you today being able to play as Yoda and stare at Ivy's boobs all day. Further reason to love the Dreamcast.
Number 5.
Now, if you were to look back on our best and worst Sonic list, you would notice that Sonic Adventure was on this list, and it actually beat out the sequel, number 2. Yes, Sonic Adventure is awesome, but upon further review, we like to say the sequel just has a little bit more to offer. I mean, come on, a hero and a bad guy story with 6 different characters you can play as, including a bat with their tatas hanging out, which is incredibly weird. I mean, think about all the confused kids while playing this game. Oof. Oh, and no Big the Cat. I hate you. The last great 3D Sonic game out there. It's a shame they scrapped the sweet storyline involving Shadow and later made Sonic date some redheaded skank. I mean, can you imagine what their kids would look like?
Number 4.
You already know zombies are awesome, so how could we overlook Code Veronica? We haven't, but unfortunately a lot of people have, which sucks because if you played this game even through the opening cutscene, you would have been hooked. Sure, it plays like the other Resident Evils, but for its time, that was the bomb. And you know what? It still holds up today. Give me Code Veronica over 5 any day. And no, I'm not kidding.
Number 3.
Could you imagine if that old school game Gauntlet was ever taken online? I mean, thousands of people working together in a magical world that has ridiculous replay value? Yeah, that is Phantasy Star Online. The first console RPG action game that went online, PSO was a mega trendsetter for games over the next decade. You know those games where you sit down and you say, okay, I'll get an hour in before I eat dinner. And then the next time you look up, it's 4 a.m.? Well, Phantasy Star Online is one of those games. If the servers were still up, people would still be playing it. And the hackers would still be there too.
Number 2.
When the Dreamcast came out, this is one of the games that was just rammed down your throat to show you off what it could do. It was the killer app, and man, it so delivered. According to a lot of people. Others absolutely hated Shenmue. Now, once again, graphics are not everything, but hot damn! At the time, some said Shenmue had the best graphics ever on a console.
Ah, good.
Long before God of War, Shenmue busted out something that's become a feature in what seems like every game ever now. QuickTime events. Oh, okay, yeah, that actually sucks. Regardless, if you have a Dreamcast and haven't at least tried Shenmue, you are missing out. That's it, the old Dreamcast recap before we get to number 1. Number 10, Crazy Taxi. Number 9, Typing of the Dead. Number 8, Skies of Arcadia. Number 7, Jet Grind Radio. Number 6, Soul Calibur. Number 5, Sonic Adventure 2. Number 4, Code Veronica. Number 3, Phantasy Star Online. And number 2, Shenmue.
It's number 1.
Straight up, without a doubt, the best game on the Dreamcast has to be Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The amount of fighters and all that.
What about Third Strike?
Oh, yeah, how can I forget about Third Strike? It was like playing the arcade game at home.
Plasma Sword?
Oh yeah, Plasma Sword, that was sweet too.
Power Stone?
Oh, Power Stone 1, that's right.
And 2.
And 2, that's right. All these great games, what do they have in common? Yeah, they're all fighters, but they're all Capcom fighters. Anyone who knows anything about Screwattack knows that we love us some fighters, but anyone who knows anything about the Dreamcast will tell you that it had one hell of a lineup of fighters, with a lot of the best ones made by Capcom. There's a reason they're still playing these games at huge tournaments like EVO on the Dreamcast, because they're as close to perfect as possible. But Craig, how can you put a bunch of games at the top of your list? Hell, it's our freaking list, we can do what we want. Dreamcast, you were the best console ever made, until the PS2 came and just crushed you unmercilessly. You may be gone, but you'll always be remembered as the legend you are.